Hello and welcome to blog 17, me learning to play the Melodeon. And if you've been watching these blogs, you'll probably notice that I've got a new box, a new Melodeon, and this is kind of my dream machine. It is a Dino Baffetti, and it is a special one because it's got Binci reeds in it. It's one of these Dino Baffetti Oakwood collaborations. And the original reeds have been taken out, and the Armano or handmade Binci reeds have been put in, and I think the action has been doctored. All part of this Dino Baffetti Oakwood music room kind of collaboration, and it is absolutely lovely. I got it on Tuesday. It's Friday today, so I'm sort of getting used to it. Let me try and describe it to you a little bit before I play it. It's very lightweight. It's got less buttons than my poker work. It's only got 19. That's not a problem because we've lost a couple off the squeaky end, so that's not a problem at all. And the action on it is just superb. It's so quick, so fast, really comfortable to play. And obviously the bass, the same. Beautiful looking thing. There's lovely fretwork there, and their bellows are superb. The whole thing kind of screams quality. It can be played very loudly indeed, or of course you can play it softly. It's very sensitive. Yeah, it's absolutely great, absolutely loving it. I'll show you the back a little bit if I can. So I don't muddy the waters here, I'm going to play you just a little bit of a right hand thing I've been working on, which is Atherfield, which is a thing that Andy Cutting plays on his album. And I'm not going to play it anywhere near as well as he does. He does lots of extra little slurry bits. I'm just going to try and play the basic tune. I'm just listening to this, that E there. It's so sweet, it's lovely, and it's the sort of tuning I like. And it's not ridiculously dry, but not too wet either. Just that is so sweet, isn't it? It's a beautiful, beautiful sound. I mean, my wife is, quite critical of sound. She sort of knows her way around quite a few instruments. She's got a good ear for music, and she says it's the one Melodeon I own that she can be in the same room with. Well, that sounds a bit terrible. She does like the sound of the box generally, but this particular one she loves the sound of, and so do I. So I'm really pleased with it. So it's handmade reeds. I don't know really what that means. I know tip Armano means that the reeds are hand finished, and Armano means that they are handmade. What that actually means in real terms, I'm not too sure. I'm not qualified enough to tell you, but just my ears tell me that they are really, really good, high quality reeds. Just the woodwork on this thing is superb. Just look at when you press the button down, it's so beautifully finished. Parking places for the straps, of course, the top and bottom, rotella for the left-hand strap, all the usual things that you would expect. And yeah, I'm totally knocked out of it. Let's put some chords in for that tune. Now, I have to say, if you want to hear this played properly, listen even better buy Andy Cutting's album, because he plays it superbly, and there's fiddle on there as well, and it's absolutely great. He does lots of extra little slurs. I'm struggling just to play the basic tune, and he plays lots more chords than I'm going to do. I'm just going to do a basic sort of 3-chord trick with this. It's in E minor, and I'm going to play E minor, and I'm going to play A minor 7th and B minor 7th. Right, well, E minor, if you're not sure how to get an E minor, it's very simple. It's the 2 buttons nearest the bellows up the top, and just there's the E bass, and there's the chord, and it's a pull. Okay, and can you hear that rasp? Oh, it's beautiful. I love that. I know rasp is not perhaps the right word, but it's got a lovely growl to it. That bottom reed in that. So there isn't an A minor as such on a D-G Melodeon. You've got D and G, C in both directions, E minor and B major on this one. Notice not B minor. Some Melodeons that is retuned to B minor. On here it's B major, but it's not a problem, as you're going to see. So we haven't got an A minor, but we can make an A minor 7th by playing a C chord with an A bass. And we can do a B minor 7th chord by playing a D chord with a B bass, like this. So the A minor 7th is C on the pull with the A bass there, so that's C with an A bass, that's an A minor 7th, another way of putting that. And the B minor 7th is a D major chord with a B bass, and that's over there. Same sort of shape, if you can see that. You've got there, that's the A minor 7th, and there is the B minor 7th. A minor 7th, B minor 7th. And this one on the pull, and this one on the push. I can probably show you that better by using my piano, so I'm going to go to my piano now. You see, if you're not too sure how to get minor 7ths, or indeed 7ths or major 7ths, I'll do a little bit of work on that for you now on the piano. Yeah, just to explain these minor 7th chords, you can't really show it on the Melodeon, so this might be helpful if you're not understanding what minor 7ths are. Let's look at a chord of A major. On the keyboard here, the notes are A, C sharp and E. So there is your A major chord. And a major chord consists of the 1st, the 3rd and the 5th notes of the scale. Here's the scale. The 8 notes of the scale, your sort of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do major scale. So you've got the 1st, the 3rd and the 5th. So there's your major chord. To turn a major chord into a minor chord, you have to flatten the 3rd. So this note here, C sharp, drops down to C. Okay, so now you've got the interval between this note and this note is called a major 3rd, and this note is a minor 3rd. So major, minor, greater, less. So the distance from this note to this note is less than it is from this note to this note. That is the derivation of the terms major and minor. So there's the A major chord. We sometimes just call that A. And then this is the A minor chord. A, C and E, spells the word ace, by the way. And that's A, C, E, and that is the minor chord, written A, M. Okay, so let's explain how we get A minor. Now to get a minor 7th, you find the true 7th of the scale. So let's run up to the scale. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp is the true 7th of the scale of A major, just before we get back to A. So if you flatten that G sharp and bring it down to G, that's your minor 7th note. So if you play your A minor chord, which remember was A, C, E, and add that G on the top, that flattened or minor 7th, that is a chord of A minor 7th. I suppose to be really correct you'd need to call it A minor minor 7th, but we just call it A minor 7th. So the notes are A, C, E and G, and the note you've added to make that a minor 7th is a tone below to the root note. So A, C, E and G. Now, if you look at that chord, if you take the bottom A out of it and just play the top 3 notes, you can probably see that you've got a C major chord. C, E and G. And so therefore, another way of saying A minor 7th, or another way of getting an A minor 7th chord, is to play a C major chord with an A bass. And that's exactly what we do on the Melodeon in this piece. We play a C major chord and we put an A bass with it, and that gives us an A minor 7th. Let's see how we get the B minor 7th, the other minor 7th chord in the song. Well, let's look at B major for a start. B major is B, By the way, the scale of B major has 5 sharps in it. Let's play the scale. Okay, bit of a nasty old key to play in. The B major chord is a B, a D sharp and an F sharp. Now, you've got the first is B, the third is D sharp and the fifth is F sharp. So flatten the third, make your D sharp come down to D. There's your minor chord, your B minor chord, B, D, F sharp. Okay, so that's B minor. Now let's find the true seventh of the scale. There's a very easy way of doing it. Just jump up an octave, okay, to the top beat and come down a semitone. Let's run up to that though. B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp is the true seventh of the scale. Flatten that to A. Add that note to the B minor chord. So you've got B, D, F sharp as the minor, and add that A, and there's your B minor seventh chord. Okay, and again, take the bottom note out of that. Look at the top 3 notes. You should notice that you've got D, F sharp and A, which is a D major chord. So put a B on the bottom of that. In other words, play a D major with a B bass, and that's the same thing as playing a B minor seventh. On my particular Melodeon, I've only got a B major chord, one of those. So this is the only way I can get any kind of a minor for B. So I play a D major with a B bass. Incidentally, minors and minor sevenths are fairly interchangeable. The song I'm playing has got an E minor chord in it, an A minor seventh and a B minor seventh. Right, the tune is in the key of E minor. You usually find that the main chord of the key has to be a proper minor, not a minor seventh, but the other 2 chords can be minor seventh. But you know, you can hear that A minor, have a listen to an A minor chord, have a listen to A minor seventh. They're essentially, you know, the same kind of sounding chord. They're both minor chords. You can sort of interchange them similarly with B minor and B minor seventh. But obviously you can't put a major where a minor should be, or vice versa. Incidentally, while we're on this, I might as well show you sevenths. If you have A major, okay, and you add the true seventh of the scale, that is A major seventh, so that's an added G sharp, 1 down from the root note. And if you add the G, the minor seventh to that, you've got A7. So you've got your 3 sevenths there. A major seventh is an A major chord with the true seventh of the scale added, which is G sharp. A7 is a major chord with the minor seventh note, which is the G. And A minor seventh is A minor with the minor seventh. So that G note is needed for the 7th chord and the minor 7th chord. And the G sharp, the true 7th of the scale, is used in the chord A major 7th. And of course, you don't have to have that inversion. You can have any inversion you like. You can swap the notes around a bit. So you could have an A minor 7th like that. C, E, G, would put the A on top, is there? You could have an A 7th by playing C sharp, E, G and A, and that minor 7th note is there. And you could have A major 7th by playing C sharp, E, G sharp and A. Bit of a clash there because you've got the 2 notes semitone apart, so you're probably better off separating them by almost an octave like this. Anyway, I hope that helps you to understand those 3 basic types of chords. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the chords in, and I'm just going to almost like vamp them. Horrible word, but like that. Let's see if we can do it like that. One thing I have found about this, because it's quite a small Melodeon, it does run out of puff fairly quickly. So you do have to really watch the air button, make sure you use it. At the moment I'm still sort of learning that a bit on this particular box. but it's not like a big melodeon that's got more air, more capacity in the bellows. So you do have to sometimes open it out a bit further than perhaps you would a bigger one. Anyway, let's try and put these chords in. Yeah, that end thing I'm doing there, that is intentional, just in case you think I have to hit a bum note there. What I'm doing, I'm playing the E note, I'm putting a C sharp with it, with the E minor chord with the left hand, and the net result is an E minor sixth. If you add a C sharp note to an E minor chord, you get E minor sixth, and I just think that sounds pretty nice. Okay, that was a bit nervous, but I'm sure you get the idea. Just jabbing those chords in. I'm going to work on trying to get a better rhythm, something a little more subtle, and that's a bit sort of clumsy and awkward. Like I said several times, do check out Andy Cutting's version. Makes me look like, well, I am a complete novice, but it's a nice tune. I really like this, and I hope Andy Cutting will forgive me for kind of murdering it a bit. Notice I've gone for the old thumb round the back of the treble board rather than on the edge. I'm using that more and more, finding that's working really well for me. And other important thing was strap height. I spent about an hour yesterday messing about the straps, or the other day messing about the straps, just getting them right, tried one longer than the other, holding the melodeon, sort of tilting it to one side, lower, higher. But this is, for me, what works really well. I'm quite long-limbed. My arms are quite long, but I'm not very wide in the shoulder. I've got very narrow shoulders, so the straps did sort of fall off a bit. So for me, I find holding the melodeon fairly high works better for me. But it won't work for everyone. As I said before, we're all different shapes and sizes, and you have to really, I would encourage you, if you're a beginner, to really experiment with your straps until you get what works for you. A lot of players use, as I've said many times before, one strap. I have tried that, but I find the whole thing kind of wobbles around too much, so maybe it's because I'm slender in the shoulders that I need two straps. Other thing I should have mentioned about this, it does have the stop here to take out the thirds from the chords. So the stop in, here's the G major, take the stop out, okay, remove the third, and that is now a G, what I call a G5, and that would be a G major or G minor. So if you want got something that needs a G minor, you do that. Okay, so now you've got G bass, and G5, which could be minor or major, and the other way you've got D bass and D5, which could be D major or D minor. And here you've got C bass and C5, which could be C major or C minor, in both directions. Here you've got B bass and B5, and that could be important because, like I said, with the thirds in, that's a B major chord. You may not want that, you might want a minor. You could do the minor seventh trick that I've spoken about earlier. Take the third out, and now you've got a B bass and a B5 chord, which is just the first and the fifth, like I say. It's what us guitarists call a power chord. And that could be B major or B minor. And pulling, you've got E bass and E5, which would be E major or E minor. Yeah, I did say earlier you haven't got an A minor on the DG Melodeon. Well, you have if you take the third out the chord, these top two here, okay, on the outside. If you take the third out the chord, A bass and an A5 chord, that A5 chord could be an A major or an A minor. So if you wanted an A minor and you didn't want to do the A minor seventh trick, I showed you earlier, and then you could get a sort of an A minor that way. So that's the beauty of being able to take the thirds out. You can't do that on a polka work or an Erica unless it's been doctored. I don't know if anyone has done that. It probably has been done. But anyway, it's a neat trick. I tend to use the thirds. I like the sound of the 3-note chords, but that's just my personal preference. So there we are. It's a superb piece of kit. It's beautifully made. And more important than anything, to my ears, it sounds just about as perfect as it can sound, and it's lovely because it's so lightweight. So you can practice. You feel like practicing for a bit longer than perhaps you would. I think originally these boxes are a Dino Baffetti Carnival 2, okay, which is infinitely cheaper than these things are. And then, as I say, all the reeds are ripped out and replaced with the Binci handmade reeds. And that's what turns it into this Dino Baffetti special. Something someone said to me after I did my last blog, which was my end of year report, was I seemed to be enjoying it more when I started, and that was a really good point. I think last week when I did that particular blog 16, where I was playing all my old tunes again to kind of measure my progress, I just think I'd got a bit miserable with it, which was definitely a fair comment. So I'm making a conscious effort to try and enjoy it a bit more. I think we all do that when we're learning an instrument. We're really desperate to get better, especially when we're being videoed or recorded. There's that real pressure, and it can make you a bit miserable sometimes. It can make you a bit sort of down, and you just forget why you're playing the thing in the first place, which is to enjoy the music. And okay, hit a few bum notes, well, so what? You hit bum notes, it really doesn't matter. I'm in my kitchen here, I'm not at the Albert Hall, so nobody really cares. I'm sure you don't really mind if I hit a few bum notes. So the message to myself, particularly, and to you out there is, don't forget to enjoy what you're doing and to listen to what you're playing, and not get sort of too wound up about, having to play perfectly, having to always improve. This thing makes a fantastic sound. One of the reasons that I started learning it, I love the kind of one-man bandness of it, if you like. The fact you can do, chords and bass notes with one hand, tune with the other hand. It's a complete sound in its own right. You don't have to have, although it is nice to have other musicians playing with you, you don't have to have them. You are a one-man or one-woman, must add that, band. And that is great. So as I say, enjoy it. It's a great instrument. Oh, the other thing I should have mentioned is that this is a stepped keyboard. If you don't know what that means, I'll see if I can show you. I don't think this shows it. What's the best way of showing this? Hopefully you can see that. It's about 1/4 of an inch higher. So yeah, this is a stepped keyboard on this particular instrument, which I thought might cause me problems because all my other boxes, they're all flat. And what that means, if you're not sure what that means, it means that this G row is a little bit higher. To my eyes, it looks about 1/4 of an inch higher, maybe a little bit more than that, than the D row. And I thought that might cause me problems, but it really hasn't. I'm not quite sure why it's set out like that, but it certainly has made no difference to me. I have seen people on Melodeon.net who said, oh, I can't get on the step keyboard, I'm selling my box. But for me, I found it's absolutely fine, not a problem at all. Let me give you a burst of some of the higher notes. That's on the D row. Even the high notes, they don't hurt, do they? On the sort of cheaper boxes, even those high ones, they really hurt a bit, don't they? They're really sweet. You should see my dog's ears down. Every time I play one of those notes, his ears go up. Poor thing. I'll stop tormenting him and you. And thank you for watching. And I should be practicing hard on this and hoping to really do it justice. So I'll see you in blog 18.